Yeah, you got good connection. I know, I can feel it.
We're on. Go ahead, Noelle.
Welcome everyone to the third Thursday Co-Creators Convergence call. I'm Noelle Marshall, and this is my beloved.
Hi everybody, this is Bob Warner. We're having a smooth and easy flowing evening this evening for our third Thursday call of our Convergence community. Welcome all.
Welcome everyone, and this is the Ides of March.
Well, that's the problem.
The day after Pi Day. So yesterday was Pi Day, today's the Ides of March, and tomorrow's the solar flare storm. So
I think it started today.
So welcome everyone, and Bob's going to tell you just a little bit about the Co-Creators Convergence, and then we will start with our wonderful guest, Whitney Freya, and she's being hosted by our illustrious CCC member, Shelley Darling, and we welcome all the new faces we see here, Pamela and Lashi and Bill and Angela, and then all the regular CCCers, Ted and Kathy, hello, Henry, Carrie, Barb, Shanti, Sheila, Nicole, yes. So welcome everyone. I know others will join us. So Bob, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Co-Creators Convergence before we hand it off to Shelley?
I will. Joyful to be with all of you this evening. This is a delightful time of our month for all of us to gather around this virtual circle and invite others to get to know more about the Co-Creators Convergence, which is a heart resonance community that is uniquely gifted souls dedicated to embodying and amplifying our collective consciousness, thereby co-creating the world that works for everyone. We do this with great love, compassion, and joy, and we honor all realms of creation to accelerate the awakening of humanity. There are four ways to be connected to this community. One of them is our third Thursday call, which is where we are right now. The second is on our co-creatorsconvergence.com website, and we archive these calls. We have all of our calls all the way back to the beginning of 2014 archived on our website. Amazing, amazing folks like Whitney that have been a part of sharing with our community. The third way we get together is 24/7 on a very active Facebook page. We invite you to join that page if you're not there already. And lastly, but not least, is we annually gather in circle, in person, in 3 dimensions for a circle of love at the Co-Creators Convergence. This year will be the 6th time we have met at Loveland, Colorado at the Sunrise Ranch Spiritual Community. That is May 30th through June 3rd this year. We've added one more day by popular request. And so we look forward to those of you that are called to be sitting in that circle. I see 6, 7 of you already on the call, that are 8 of you that are registered already, 9 of you. So we look forward to seeing you there. Thank you for spending the evening with us.
So I think with that, without any further ado, and sorry for all the technical issues, Shelley, thank you so much for bringing Whitney, and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Noelle and Bob. And really, I just feel like I want to first just really honor Noelle and Bob, who really felt the inspiration those years ago to bring us all together in an experiential, participatory event where we're all really uplifting and supporting each other. So I didn't make it last year. I've made it every other year, but I am coming. Even though I'm not registered yet, I am there for sure. So thank you so much. And I want to welcome our guest, Whitney Freya. And I'm just going to share a little bit about her. And then I just want to share a personal story, because for me, it's a real delight to hosting Whitney. She really took the initiative to change my life by simply handing me a paintbrush when I had already decided that I wasn't going to be an artist until my next lifetime. And she said, why wait? Here you go. And what was really incredible of meeting in Taos, New Mexico last October, was that what in that moment, and taking that breath and taking that risk and moving beyond all my, limiting belief systems about who I am and what I have to offer this lifetime, I felt all of a sudden what came to me was to put a chalice on this big giant painting that we were all co-creating together. And I think for me, that was really what this call is all about tonight, to really be an inspiration, to invite everyone to really step beyond themselves in a way that they know themselves or identify with themselves. So I know we have a lot of yummy stuff, but let me first introduce Whitney. So if you have read a little bit about her via the sharing, but Whitney is a published author, artist, and spiritual teacher, and a most loving creative muse. Her latest book, Rise Above, Free Your Mind One Brushstroke at a Time, is just an explosion of color in art. Whitney has also made appearances alongside Dr. Wayne Dyer, Donna Eden, and she also lives in an international team of creative coaches and has taught at Burning Man and so forth. So we're really lucky to have her right now. She just arrived back in Oregon, and I hope to see you there when I get there. And what I love about Whitney and her bio is simply that Whitney really was a want-to-be artist. And at one point in her great turning, she took the risks to step and open an art center in 1996. And beyond that, we're going to get to hear more, let Whitney really share about herself and her journey. And tonight, we have an hour and a half together. Yes, she has this incredible book, Rise Above, but tonight we're also going to open our call. We always open this call with resonance or heart centering, and Whitney's going to take us into more of the super soul flow that she has initiated so many people in. So I think really that's enough. I think, Whitney, we'd love to just open this call with a deepening and a resonance, bringing everyone together, welcoming everyone who just came on with us. And there will be, obviously, I'm all about participatory experiences. This will be that type of call. So just let's all dive in together. And Whitney, this beautiful crystalline mic, virtual mic, is yours.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to start with the meditation. I'm very grateful to be here and excited to be with the co-creators Convergence, because it's all about creating our reality and what we want to create next, and how we can focus all of our attention and intention on what we desire rather than what we don't want. And so I want to lead you into just this heart opening, and I want to share with you a symbol to guide you. As you know, I'm really passionate about working with the visual arts and symbols and imagery. And so I want to give you an image. This is out of the book. I just realized I was about to draw it on a piece of paper, and I'm like, oh, I've got it in the book. So this is a sacred symbol that I've been working with. So if you look at it, you can see the heart, like the pink heart at the top, right? You see the heart? And then if you flip it over, there's another heart, right? So it's two hearts coming together to form that diamond space in the middle. And then if you look at it another way, it's two infinity signs next to each other. So in this guided meditation opening, I'm going to guide you into this space in the middle, the diamond, which is you, the treasure, the union of heaven and earth. So I thought I'd share that visual with you, and it might add another dimension to our opening. So I'm going to use my lovely singing bowl. Does that sound okay, everybody? A little vibration? Yeah. The more senses we engage, right, the more present we become. So since I just flew and drove and showered quickly, it would behoove me to become even more present. So I invite you to close your eyes and just take a really nice deep breath and exhale. Just imagine all the busyness and all the amazing accomplishments and creations that you experience today. Just celebrate those and let them kind of fall away. Take another deep breath in and imagine yourself just filling up with light. Exhaling any kind of static, busy, scattered energy. Breathe in again deeply, all the way into your belly. And with the next exhale, send your awareness down to your root chakra. And imagine these golden, sparkly roots of energy just sinking down into the floor beneath you, into the earth. And allow them to grow and spread. Maybe it's like a big oak tree. Just allow your energy to sink into and rest into Mother Earth below you. And as you feel yourself grounding and rooting into the earth beneath you, you can breathe in the amazingly abundant divine love of Mother Earth. Maybe take a moment to send her gratitude for the support she provided to you today, the sustenance, the food, the shelter, the sunlight, the trees, the air we breathe, everything made possible because of Gaia. As you exhale, you can let go of anything that is no longer serving you, sending it down into the earth for her to transmute and recreate that energy into positive, nurturing growth. Breathe all of that in. And imagine the heart from below, the love of Gaia coming up, rising up through the layers, up, until she embraces you and forms the top of the diamond space above you. Feel yourself just completely immersed in the love of Gaia. And with your next exhale, allow your awareness to rise through the crown of your head, just floating gently up through the ceiling, through the roof, up into the sky above your home, up into the clouds, looking down on your town, your whole state, all the way up, till the starlight is tickling you, all the way up into the expansiveness of the cosmos above. Imagine each star twinkling its hello, its welcome, its excitement at being able to share this expansive, infinite love with you now. And as you breathe in, imagine all of that love from all of that infinite space above us coming down, gently like angel wings, embracing you until it forms the bottom of your diamond space underneath you. And with the next inhale, breathe all of this love energy from above and below into your heart space. Maybe you imagine your heart like a golden orb or a green light, and just let it expand with each inhale. In this diamond space, surrounded by the love from above and below, we get to remember that we are infinite beings, currently getting to express ourselves on this physical planet. You are the union of heaven and earth. You are the union of matter and light. And when all the details of modern life fall away, the only thing that's left, the only truth is love. From this space, you're able to live fully as an infinite being, with one aspect of you currently expressing itself on March 15th, 2018. And from this place, you can access the multidimensional nature of who you are. The infinite you has access to all wisdom, all knowing, beyond linear space and time. This is where you access your true wisdom, where you can access the part of you that's already on the other side of your current challenge or question, that's already doing that thing that you really want to do. And from that place, you can ask yourself for your own advice. What advice does your future self have for you right now? What does he or she want you to do differently? What energy does she want you to focus on? What new experience does he want you to say yes to? What desire in your heart does she want you to honor and allow to come into fruition? Breathe in the freedom of the knowing that everything you need is within you right now. In this diamond space, become aware of the infinity signs on either side of you, forming the edges, the sides of the diamond that you're in. You might imagine them like a highway of light, a ribbon of energy circulating all the way up, up, up into the stars, down into your diamond space, and then going deep down into Mother Earth, scooping up all of that love and bringing it into your diamond space. Maybe this healing light is bathing you in love, healing, compassion, forgiveness, courage. Take a moment to sense the energy all around you and within you. Breathe into your heart and let your energy expand and merge with the infinite surrounding you. And as you breathe in light of all the infinite love and possibility, know in your heart that the reason that you are here right now, in this space, gathered with these people, experiencing this life, is not random. You are here as pure love. And you can always rest in that knowing. Take a deep breath in. You understand that this magical diamond space is available to you at any time. Express gratitude to yourself for opening to receive, opening to what's possible, and opening to love. Breathe in and feel yourself where you're sitting. Imagine the diamond space just gently disappearing from view, always there, Feel the hair on your neck. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, open your eyes.
Mm.
Lovely.
Thank you, Whitney.
You never know what is going to come through exactly, right? That was really beautiful.
Did I tell everyone that Whitney was a ceremonialist?
Someone said to me recently, I'm not really sure what you are. I'm like, I'm not either. It keeps changing and shifting. And wow, yeah, it's exciting. It's a really exciting time right now. And I told Shelley that I'm so excited to speak to all of you because, you know, I feel just very much like circling around the fire together, you know, because I know you all have been on this healing love journey quest for a long time, and probably your whole lives, right? I mean, I can think back to being a little kid and just knowing, like, sitting there at the dinner table with these very logical, practical parents that used words like feasible and, you know, logical, and all of practical that was a big favorite. And I'm just sitting there like, I just think there's more going on than we know, just since I was a little kid, you know. I mean, granted, I watched a lot of Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie, you know, but I just always knew. And I remember saying, we didn't go to church or anything, but I just always remember saying, like, okay, God, if you're up there, like, just don't lump me in with them, because, you know, I don't seem to be vibing the same way. And I love my parents, they're amazing, but, you know, they do not get any of this at all. So, so I know you all probably have similar stories, and so I'm really honored. And, you know, my whole journey the last couple years, or I don't know, year and a half, with this book, Rise Above, was really one of stepping into a knowing of the fact that we have all been really preparing for these times right now, that with the heightened, like, contrast, as we say in the art world, that there comes a place, you know, those watershed moments where everybody has to choose. And, you know, when things are kind of going along nicely, you know, okay and fine, you know, we can get a little placid or apathetic. And this is a really exciting time right now. It's important, and we're each making a difference with every word we say, and the way we show up in every single room, and the kind of presence we have in each other's life is really creates powerful ripple effects that grow exponentially. And it's kind of like 1 + 1 = 8 right now, right? And so that's exciting. So thank you for inviting me to be here, Shelley. One of the things I wanted to talk about, and I love that meditation kind of gave you a little sampling of everything, right, Pamela? One of the things that I really, really enjoy, and I'm a big believer in enjoying life and having fun and honoring, you know, my heart's desire and stretching into new experiences. I think this life on this planet is meant to be a huge adventure, and it has contrast. Like I said, maybe that's, you know, the word of the night, which means that we're given the ups and the downs, right? And the ins and the outs and the highs and the lows, because without experiencing one, it's hard to really appreciate the other. You know, it's hard to really appreciate, like, freedom, which is a big one for me, if you haven't experienced feeling stuck or trapped, right? And so one of the things that came up when I was teaching this weekend in some Southern California was that because life is this series of contrasting experiences and opportunities to get to know more of who we are and more of who we aren't, that also means that if you're in one of those, growth periods, right, one of those challenging spaces, that you're getting ready to experience the opposite, the contrast, right? So you're being prepared to experience kind of the next level of freedom or joy or vitality, because you're being shown what it's like to not be there. And again, I think we choose all this, right? As infinite beings, we've got nothing but time, right? And it's like going to the amusement park and going on the roller coasters. Like, we want it to be exciting and we want to challenge ourselves and we want to learn. And, I've met so many people the last 22 years doing the work that I do, and so many inspirational stories, and so many of them have been because of challenges, right? And those challenges are sometimes really overwhelming and huge, and those people have so much wisdom to share. Their light is even brighter. And anytime I first meet someone and they share, a really challenging story with me, my first thought is like, wow, you must be a really badass soul. Like, you're a big wig up there, because you chose to come down and learn not one or two or three lessons, but like a bunch of them, and like learn them like at the PhD level, And so I have just this instant respect for those of us when we're going through those challenges, right? It's so helpful. And I think that I know that right now, kind of just like how we have upgraded our computers significantly over the last, right, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Did they even exist? They weren't even around 20 years. Well, I guess they were, but not email or internet or things like this that I wasn't using, at least when I opened my art center. But in the same way, we're being offered these up levels. We're being offered more tools and even more ways. There's a never-ending buffet of ways to live this life, from a place of abundance and high vibration. And for me, working with symbols is one of the most fun ways. I have a couple now, but my first signature program is Vision Quest. I think life is a vision quest. And we process more information through our eyes than any other sense. And so when you're really attracted to something, or you find yourself saying, I'm seeing owls everywhere, right? Or I'm seeing lotus flowers everywhere, or I'm seeing crickets everywhere. Not everybody is seeing that everywhere. Like, you are seeing that everywhere. And the reason your eye is being attracted to that, of all the things you could be looking at, or you look up right at that moment, is because there's a message for you. There's guidance, there's medicine in a multidimensional way. There's anything you need being offered to you through that symbol, through that image. And in working with these images, you can develop even more. I'm completely aware of who I'm speaking to here. Develop even more your intuitive knowing, that confidence, that courage that comes from understanding that you have access to anything you need. And so these images and symbols are wanting to share that with you. It's like each image has volumes of wisdom. So I have some examples written down because, this is obviously, it can be a huge topic, and I'm, inspired every day by something. But I just wanted to ask you all, like, has anyone had that experience lately where you're seeing something everywhere, or you find yourself particularly attracted to a certain color or an animal or anything like that? Anyone have any examples that you want to?
So feel free to unmute yourself, and if you're having trouble unmuting, just send something in the chat and I'll unmute you.
Okay, good. Thanks, Barb.
I see birds, a lot of birds all the time. I'm just really attracted to them, and I know they're everywhere, but I think it's because I'm seeing things from not a higher perspective, but able to get the big picture of things by looking up, from above. And
Yes.
so that's what I attribute it to you to.
Yes. Well, and you think about, I mean, I can tell you're still on your journey, right? You've been traveling a lot. So the universe, I'll just use that word, right? The universe can be letting you know, like, you're on the right path, kind of, flying around and visiting and seeing life from that perspective. It absolutely can be reminding you or affirming that choosing to see things from a higher doesn't mean better or anything. It just means, that eagle's eye view, right? Where the little things that aren't really that important fall away. You can't see those. And the big things that are important are still very obvious. And so you're getting the affirmation, like, yes, this is what we want you to, that would serve you the best, to have that perspective and share that with others. Birds are a symbol of freedom. You think about just even in the Bible when they use the example of how birds don't worry, and we're encouraged not to worry. So the birds can have so many different meanings. It can be like, I worked with the owl for 2 years, and what that just means is, in that version, is I was painting owls for 2 years straight. I could paint nothing but owls. And at first, this was before I was talking about symbols or anything. So this was like 2010, and I'm painting owls, and just like, wow, I'm going through an owl phase, and they're fun to paint, and why not? Because I kind of tended not to focus on any one thing. And then it was like, but why would anyone want to paint anything but an owl? I mean, really, this is just the only thing that people should paint. I mean, it was just so pervasive. I'd even try just to test myself to paint something else, and I literally couldn't. I'm like, what? I don't know why I would even bother painting anything else. And then I Googled one day. I was in a workshop. Google, sacred Google, I tell you, I wear it out. But I was in a workshop with a friend who's a writer, and we were doing some exercises, and I was doing this collage exercise, and I had a card that had a lot of kind of divine feminine goddess energy, and I wasn't really into that at that point. And but because of that imagery, right, I was like, I wonder who would come up if I just Googled the goddess of art. And so I did, and who came up but Athena? And who does Athena always have on her shoulder is that owl. And so that was the first time that it dawned on me, like, maybe there's a reason I'm painting owls. And so then I started exploring the symbolism of owls, and, they can see things that no one else can see. They have this tremendous vision. And the story that I love is that owls are sent to us often to help lead us out of underworld experiences. So it can be possible to kind of go in to do the shadow work, right? And get stuck down there, right? Like kind of get in the victim mentality, or feel like maybe you're stuck with someone who's choosing to stay in that underworld experience. And so the owl kind of came in and guided me out. And as soon as I realized that, I stopped painting owls. I painted a double crocodile because that was what I needed next, apparently. But so these symbols are really incredible. And then you can use them in meditation. It can be a really fun way to clear your mind. And I've had the owl show up, the wise owl on the branch, and I've had it show up as, the sparkly purple, like target owl. And then I've had it show up as like the swooping predator to remind me that I can be cute and sparkly, but I can also be strong and, my warrior woman self. And so they have a conversation with you, right? They're not stagnant. It's not like every time you call to mind one of these images or animals or symbols, it always looks the same. It looks different, and that's information for you. So it's really exciting. Okay, so we're getting some comments here. Oh, I love crocodiles eat fear, according to Egyptians. That is huge, and that is super appropriate. And I've been to Egypt, and so that's cool too. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, and Lashish wants to say that she's been seeing the number 555 lately. So that's another thing, right? We all love, right, 1111 and seeing repeating numbers. That is guidance. We're familiar with that. And the 5, Lashish, I know, is a big symbol for change. because, you know, it's going kind of two different directions. And so that's exciting, right? So does anyone else have an example of a symbol? It's funny, like I've had conversations with people that are like, you know, my mom had a collection of elephants or arrows, or, you know, people have collections of things that they love and they collect all their life. And, you know, they might not have ever realized that there was like this symbolism or medicine that they were being offered through those. But that's kind of fun to just kind of look around and be like, wow, I've got a lot of spirals, or I've got a lot of different symbols around. And you can kind of play with this, like, you know, take the next 48 hours as a vision quest. You know, maybe you have something that you're wanting to step into more so, or maybe you've got a fork in the road coming up, you know, should I go here or there, put my energy in this direction or that direction? And you can ask kind of for a vision quest, like show me symbols to help me understand what would be the highest path for myself. Pamela, thank you for bringing that up. Feathers. Anyone else see feathers a lot lately? Right? Yeah, it's one of my favorites. That was the symbol I worked with last year. I was so kind of hesitant to even allow 2018 to happen because I had such a fun 2017. And the feather, for me, helped remind me to choose a lightness of being. So if anything, if you ever might find yourself feeling heavy or down or worried or sad, you can bring a feather to mind and just watch what happens. It kind of felt like it just sprinkled this fairy dust, and whatever was heavy just kind of poof, just disappeared, and I just felt that buoyancy. And that was the feather medicine. So that's pretty exciting. Anyone else?
Yes, this is Henry. I guess your invitation to look into symbols just made me realize that being here in Santa Fe or outside of Santa Fe for a little over a year, that the symbols that I see on a regular basis, especially now that I'm taking more regular walks, is the mountains and open spaces. And so I realized that that's like a symbol. It's not something, I mean, it's something that is present in my environment every day. So just looking at that at a deeper level and what its significance kind of opened a door. So thank you.
Absolutely. In the land where you live, or the land, maybe you have a special place, you know, that you really love to visit, right? Or where you live. I mean, I'm grateful to live in land that I find completely magical. And for me, it's the mountains. I love mountains. That's a symbol, right? Like, wow, I really know that I want to live by water someday. So what is the symbolism of that? There's different meaning behind the different bodies of water. You know, an ocean clearly has a lot of different energy than a river. So you can work with the elements and just ask in meditation for a body of water to come to you. So Shelley, we're going to lead everybody into a symbol experience. So I'm debating now, since I just mentioned that, I was going to do the chalice, but we could do the water too. Chalice. Oh, she lit up with chalice. Okay, so we'll.
No, I'm just loving
it. No, the chalice is good, and it's got water involved. Maybe I can weave the water in. So what I'll do is share with you kind of a way to use the symbol in a meditation. Okay, so we're going to work with the chalice. And I've worked with this symbol a lot. There's actually a whole section in my book about the chalice. And that was an interesting one when it came up. So the way it came up is I was drawing something in my journal. I was kind of copying a oracle card that I had pulled. And it was kind of a Mother Mary figure holding a chalice, right? And it had kind of this ribbon of light, or whatever you might imagine it to be, coming into the chalice. And she had, you know, this beautiful fabric blue scarf with the pattern and all these things, but I drew the chalice first and colored that in. And I thought to myself, you know, wow, that's really interesting that I'm working so much on this chalice, because I would think I would be working on these more fun areas, right? And so I knew that to be significant. And so that led to musings around, like, you know, whose Kool-Aid am I drinking? And, you know, things like that. And so it led to a whole kind of journal entry and meditation just on myself as the chalice, and, you know, the words or the input that I take in and things like that. And so, so I had that experience. And then I was reading something like poetry or something like probably a Hafiz or something, and it had the chalice in it. And then it came up another time in conversation. And so that's how I knew that the chalice was wanting to work with me. And I was a little resistant because it just has kind of a churchy religion kind of energy to it, right? And so it just wasn't an instant magnet for me. And of course, what we know about resistance is that that's a good sign that it's wanting to work with you, right? Resistance is a good thing. So, so I've worked with the chalice a lot, and it's a fabulous symbol to support our spiritual journey because it can really help get us to the meditation cushion or outside for walks, spending time alone in silence, or whatever it is that you are being called to do to fill yourself up. So let's just do a, you know, not a hugely long meditation, but allow me to introduce to you working with a symbol in meditation that has traditionally been referred to, and I love to use the word yantra. So a yantra is a visual mantra, and it's meant to be used in the same way, just like a mantra is meant to kind of help clear your mind and raise your vibration so you can access higher levels of consciousness. So symbols can do the same thing. And some people find it easier to be imagining a symbol, right, than maybe trying to not think of anything. So they're just all different tools. So, is that good? Shelley, did you want to say anything? No. Okay.
Right here with you. Yep.
Okay, good. All right. So just close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. As we know, the breathing deeply kind of calls in our deeper sense of being and deeper thoughts, and it's kind of a signal to let go of the monkey mind. So just breathe deeply and look through your third eye, that intuitive vision. And imagine that you're looking ahead and you see a red carpet. And it's a pathway, and you understand that you're meant to walk this pathway to receive this talisman, this sacred object that's going to support your highest and greatest good right now. And so you can comfortably and safely step onto this red carpet and follow it like a pathway. Maybe you're walking through nature or up temple steps or through a marbled hallway. And at the end of the carpet, you see a beautiful pedestal. And on that pedestal is an amazingly vibrant and beautiful chalice. And you understand that this is for you right now. And you can approach the pedestal and just observe the chalice. What does it look like? And what is it made out of? It could be golden and bejeweled. It could be hammered copper or silver in color. Or maybe it's carved from wood. Or it's ceramic. Maybe it looks ancient, like it was made thousands of years ago. Or maybe it's magical, shiny new. This is your chalice right now. You pick it up and hold it in front of you with your palms resting, supporting the vessel of the chalice. Just feel the energy coming from your hands through the chalice. And as you breathe, just allow the symbol and the energy of the chalice and the energy of your body to merge. As you breathe in from the crown of your head. And imagine that as you breathe in, you are filling yourself, the chalice, with light, energy, color. Breathe all the way in and imagine yourself filling this liquid light. And you can take time in the meditation to kind of check in with your chalice and notice, maybe you sense that there's a crack or a hole. You sense the energy leaking from some part of the chalice. It could be something you feel in your body, or you just sense in your mind's eye. So you breathe in that liquid light. You can imagine the chalice being healed, the cracks or the breaks being filled in with that liquid light, like the gold in the Japanese vessels. So breathe in the liquid light until you feel your chalice whole and strong. And allow that liquid light to fill in all the way from your toes, your ankles. And imagine that light filling up through your knees, all the way to your hips. You can imagine that anywhere where there's stuck energy, any blockages, just imagine that light gently dissolving, healing, soothing, clearing any of those spaces. And keep inhaling, filling up with this liquid light into your belly. You can imagine each of your chakras expanding, flowing, spinning. Breathe it into your solar plexus. Maybe you imagine the light just radiating out from the center of your chalice. Maybe your chalice was a little older looking, or somehow now it's cleaner, newer, shinier. And the liquid light is filling higher into your heart, dissolving any worry or anxiety, any fears. The liquid light may feel really warm, really refreshing. Just pay attention to whatever comes to mind. It's all here to love you. Now your chalice is filling up. It's bathing your throat chakra, clearing away any words or stories that have been stuck, that have been wanting to be spoken. or seen, honored, released. And you breathe all the way in until the liquid light is at the very top, the rim of your chalice. And when you feel full of light and love, you can imagine that light overflowing out of your chalice, pouring, cascading from the edges of the chalice down to the ground around you and spreading out, rippling out from where you are. And just notice if this overflow forms a river that begins to meander through canyons and open meadows, or maybe it pools and expands into a beautiful lake. Or you feel yourself magically, blissfully suspended in a huge, expansive ocean that's all being fed from this overflow of light coming from you. Imagine it rippling out, nourishing others, healing others, inspiring. And from this place, just ask yourself, get curious. What else do I do to fill myself up to this level of overflow? What is my chalice desire? To be filled to overflowing. What will nourish me, feed me, inspire me, strengthen me? And just receive whatever guidance you're getting. Be the chalice. Maybe your chalice is like a singing bowl. The harmony is what is expanding and rippling out. Just allow yourself to be bathed in this light and love, this feeling of overflow, of having so much that you can't even contain all the joy, all the hope, all the compassion. Bring your awareness to the crown of your head, the top of your chalice. Breathe into your heart, the body of the chalice. Breathe into where you're sitting, the stem of the chalice. And then imagine that you're holding the chalice again in front of you. You can set it on the pedestal. there anytime. Breathe deeply. Maybe roll your shoulders back and feel yourself sitting where you're sitting. Wiggle your fingers and toes. I really am also super passionate about allowing this work to be uber practical. You know, I have 3 teenagers. One just walked out the door, you know, and the business and all the things. And so if I'm feeling depleted or I'm feeling stressed about something, the chalice is a symbol that I work with a lot to be like, okay, let's go fill up, you know, that the reason I'm not feeling in my power is because I've allowed, you know, I'm in a state of depletion, or I need some energy. I need to take care of me. And so it can really be helpful to give yourself permission. We know that saying about, you know, fill yourself up first and then serve others from your overflow. That's actually the master path of service. It's not serving others from the last little drops in your chalice and then wishing you had all the energy they have because you've been so busy serving everybody. That's not the master path. We all know both, right? Does anyone want to share? You can share in the chat what your chalice looked like. Or Shelley, what was that experience like for you?
So I was feeling, Whitney, to just allow people to unmute themselves, unless you have a lot of background noise. And just from this place of this deep, deep journey that we've just had in the symbol, and from this place of just to speak from that place, what's coming to you, or if you have a question, or, you know, and I also know, Whitney, the beauty of taking these visuals and putting them on. I mean, right now we're having this experience on the canvas of our life, because this is an influencer. It's, you know, it's whatever came to us during that time. For me, I don't even know how it happened, but the chalice turned into an alabaster jar. I'm going like, what? You know, and I know that from this call, I'm going to go and I could see myself actually drawing it out a little bit. And so just to allow people to really bring that present state to the canvas of, you know, of this circle here tonight, this quilt, you know, for those of us who are seeing each other, you know, for those of you on the call as well, just to have an opportunity. So let's open it up a little bit. And if you have a question for Whitney, and just allowing, and if you could keep your share to about a minute, because there's a lot of people on this call tonight. And, you know, this is, I can feel that flowing up of that liquid light wanting to express itself. So if that's okay with you, Whitney, let's open it up for about 10 minutes and just see where people, what's moving in us tonight.
Yeah, please.
So trust your essential self to know exactly when it's your time to share, and just unmute yourself. And for the people that are on the call, just say your name. That would be really helpful.
You know, one of the things I know is that, you know, you feel it kind of in your heart and your chest if you're meant to share. And often what you are wanting to share is for somebody else. So don't hold back, because it could be really helpful for somebody else.
Yeah, this is Carrie, and I, of this whole period of time, all I've been seeing is fractal patterns and Fibonacci series, and, you know, just all of these graphic designs. Nothing that's connected with, you know, natural, you know, well, what should I say, animals and people and the earth and things, although this is a part of all of that.
Yes.
Because we're all built upon those mathematical series. I mean, our whole bodies are made up of systems that are based upon mathematical series, and a lot of the stuff that's been coming to me over the last week or so is, you know, like helping me to realize that my situation is the result of thoughts I was thinking 6 months ago. And I didn't even realize that I set into motion a series of events that put me in a position of losing my house. And actually it was as the result of what I was afraid of, what I was focused on 6 months ago, and the energy of that came back at me and influenced my life, and now I've got to figure out how to turn that around. Thanks for listening.
Yes, thank you for sharing. Yeah, sacred geometry, I mean, you know, that's absolutely, those are amazing symbols and images to work with. And I paint sacred symbols. I have a set of sacred symbol stencils, which I highly recommend, and painting those into the first layers of the canvas and meditating on those. You know, one of the things that, Carrie, you really brought into the conversation is the fact that what I find is it can be really easy to allow my mind to go to worry or stress, which is basically imagining what I don't want to happen. And when you go to meditate on, paint, let's just say like a symbol, you know, when you go to picture the chalice, you go and you're imagining, you know, beautiful, you're focused on the beauty. We don't ever go to the canvas thinking, I saw this really sad, horrible, heavy, dark thing and I want to paint that. You know, you don't ever do that. And in these guided meditations, working with a symbol, you know, we naturally focus visually towards beauty. You know, we naturally seek out beauty, and it's very obvious visually. And so I feel like it is really helpful for redirecting worry and stress towards what we want. You can, in fact, like, for example, Carrie, if I can offer this to you, there may be a particular symbol, like the Fibonacci spiral or Merkaba or, you know, flower of life, that is maybe wanting to be the symbol of you living safe and sound in a new, wonderful home. And whenever you start worrying about, you know, the current situation and you know, fearful of what might happen, you allow that symbol to come into your mind and have that just be your anchor for where you're headed to this safe, happy, beautiful new home. That in hindsight, you look back and you're so glad you lost your house because you're so much happier where you are now. It's taking a symbol and kind of encoding it with this future that you're choosing as a creator, right? And then allowing that, because it has no baggage, allowing that to draw you and guide your thoughts and energy towards that future that you choose. So, yeah. You're welcome. Yeah. Who else wants to share? It's a gift, please.
Roxanne.
Go, Roxanne.
Roxanne, were you going to say something? If not, Noelle will.
Well, my, can you hear me?
Yes.
My chalice was fun. And so I had a chalice, and
Oh, I can't hear you now.
I was holding it in my hand, you know. Okay. Oh, darn it. Take it off.
We can't hear
Yeah.
you. Maybe if you shut off your
Off video. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Is that, am I on?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I had it in my hand, and then it started to, but it wasn't heavy. And then it was as tall as I was, and it was on the ground. And then it had a big emerald on it at the base of the goblet part. And then it got like a spiral of jewels up the column of it. And then it started roller skating with me, and we started having fun. And I don't know if they can hear
Noelle,
me.
it's really going in and out. It's very difficult to hear you.
Wet.
You'll have
Okay.
to put it in the chat.
Oh,
Yeah, and
it's kind of long, but it was a very fun chalice. It was a very fun chalice. And we went roller skating together, and it grew big and small. And then I also, it grew, when you start talking about compassion.
So one of the things you said, Noelle, was you mentioned an emerald. So I heard that. And so I just wanted to kind of offer up as well that if you see something like that, some of you know the symbolism, you know, if you work with crystals, you know, you can be offered information in all those different ways, right? So that's pretty exciting. I love the fun chalice, the roller skating chalice. Thank you. Who else wants to share?
Hello, Whitney. This is Nina. How are you?
Hi, Nina. It's so good to hear your voice.
It's so good to hear your voice. That was such a beautiful meditation. And of course, it took me back to what we created in Taos with the chalice.
Yes.
And I couldn't help but go back to that piece of artwork and think to myself, I would have loved to have had that even in front of me. And so anyway, I just wanted to, that was just gorgeous, simply gorgeous. And I thank you for bringing me back to that beautiful experience that we had in Taos, creating that piece of artwork. And I think that there are a few people here that were in Taos as well. But for anyone that hasn't experienced your artwork in person, it's really amazing. It's a beautiful experience. So thank you so much. And I didn't want to miss this call with you here. So
thank you. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, lovely to hear you and see your pretty picture.
Oh yeah, I should have put my picture on. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's good. Okay. Oh, there she is. Yay. Hi, Nina.
The lighting isn't real good, but I see you all.
Yeah, I know it's getting dark where I am too, and I haven't turned on lights yet. Wonderful. So if when you work with the, you know, like the chalice, just as an example, it may show up differently every time. Or you may, you know, come to know your chalice, and it can be a really beautiful check-in. You know, when I mentioned if there are any cracks or breaks, you know, if you are sick, you can kind of use that as a guide maybe to help you understand what your chalice wants or needs to be filled up with, right? You can imagine pouring the chalice out. This is also similar to the Celtic tradition of the three cauldrons, or the three selves, and so that can work. And then so I did, that was the kind of the first time I wove in the water, bodies of water. Did anyone have anything you can share about what your overflow turned out into ocean? How many people had an ocean around them? Or maybe a river. Oh, you had an ocean? Awesome. I was afraid I didn't want to leave you like out in the middle of the ocean feeling, so I said safely in the ocean, right? Okay, that's good. Who had like a river? River people?
Around there, I have bubbles.
Yeah, river, Pamela. What do you think? So, you know, working with the water, again, it's a beautiful way to trust, and you all are so open-minded, and you know about guided meditation and imagery, and hopefully some of you, because I love this, are feeling a little resistance to it because, you know, maybe it feels newer. And it can be a really beautiful way. Just imagine like yourself as the diamond, you know, with the multifaceted diamond. And you may have had lots of experience developing your intuition in all these different facets. And maybe this is just illuminating a new facet, right? And really trusting, like, oh, well, of course I pictured a river because I live near a river. Well, you know, try it again and see what else comes up, or think into, okay, so I live next to a river and I visualized a river. So what do rivers mean to me? Like, wow, I do like change and movement. Like I need to, you know, keep things, you know, keep a variety in my life. And I like to bring that to others. You know, maybe that's what I'm being reminded of. Maybe if I do something, you know, a little different, turn things upside down in the next couple of days, that will help me understand better this next step, right? So it can be a really beautiful way to kind of play with your intuition, you know, have fun with that inner voice. Everything is significant. I just remember reading, and maybe some of you know this, but like in our astrology signs, you know, the water, like I'm a Cancer, which is a water symbol. And I read somewhere that like each of the 4 Cancer signs have a different kind of body of water. I actually think I was a high alpine lake, that Cancer is associated with mountain lakes, which I actually have a goal of jumping in all 50 high alpine lakes in the mountains around me before I die. So I'm like, that's weird, you know? And so then one of the other signs would have been the ocean, and the other, the river. I don't know if anyone else has seen that, or if you're an earth sign, you know, maybe some of you are mountains and some are deserts and some are meadows. I don't know. So that could be interesting to look at. I'm to the point with the symbolism with Mother Nature that, I mean, I can't even take a walk around the block without, you know, something catches my eye, whether it's a falling leaf or something new growing. And I'm like, okay, what are you saying to me? Like, what are you offering? There's a conversation, or, you know, little whispers, because Mother Nature, kind of like Carrie alluded to, you know, that divine design is in everything. I'm reading an amazing book called, have it right here, The Hidden Life of Trees. Has anyone read this book? And you read this and it's like, trees are just like people. Exactly. So, you know, the Celtic tradition has a whole symbolism of trees. I mean, we have been using nature and imagery and symbolism since forever and ever and ever. And of course, in this modern world, you know, we kind of are playing hide and seek with it a little bit on a collective level. So remembering this. And then as Shelley mentioned, what I encourage people to do, who I get to partner with and work with more closely, is to take these images, take the images that are coming to you, like the chalice or the river, the water, take images that are symbolic of what you want, like even what I suggested to Carrie, assigning a sacred geometry to her new, lovely, amazing home situation, and taking it to the canvas to paint, because, first of all, you spend so much more time thinking about it and having a conversation with it. And just imagine the energy that's flowing through your body to create that onto the canvas, and then you're absorbing it visually back into you. So it becomes this like total energetic experience, and you can create images. And my book has a whole chapter on how to create a personal symbol for something that you desire. Like I have a symbol hanging right over here, which I could show you guys. I have to turn on some lights. That's the symbol for my best-selling book. Because when I said I want a best-selling book, it felt like, you know, I got that voice like, oh, little Miss Ego wants a best-selling book, eh? You know, like, who do you think you are? And I'm like, but why not? Other people get best-selling books. Why can't I have a best-selling book? Like, what? It's going to help all kinds of things. And so I created a symbol for it to help me detach from those words and the story and the baggage, and just give me just pure energy. Do you guys want to see that symbol? Might as well, hey? Okay. It's so funny. Like, things are unplugged, you know, when you go out of town, and I don't know what I did. I turned everything off. Okay. So my house is covered covered with symbols. Okay, so it's on my bedroom door, so I have to walk through it every day, right? Like a threshold and a choice. And so we'll start at the bottom. So we've got roots. So there's kind of the roots at the bottom that have the lotus at the top, right? So the book, Rise Above, was created from a lot of work that I did because I had some mucky situations and I chose to bloom in spite of those. So that is all feeding the book. And my core question, this is, the same symbol that I've been working with. You guys see there's a Merkaba in the symbol. The symbol just continues to blow me away. Because my question became, how can I love my reader the most? Like, what would be the most loving book that I could write? And that actually shifts things. If any of you are writers, it's a subtle one, but it's like, okay, this isn't just about me writing what I want to write. This is about, I'm writing this to share with people. So let's focus on that. And so the waterfall coming out of the hearts is just that overflowing love and the abundance. The waterfall is a symbol of abundance. And then the lotus flower growing out of the heart. And this is a symbol that's in the fearlessness chapter. This is what I call the eye of fearlessness. And that symbol came about in a workshop, and other people were painting it, and they had painted this big eye in the middle of the fearlessness canvas. And I'm like, okay, so I wonder why an eye is showing up. And the eye had no kind of top or bottom. It could be right side up. It was wide open, which led me to think that, okay, if our eyes are really wide open and seeing things for what they really are, can you then still be afraid? Like, is fear dependent on a level of unknown, right? And so many times I know I've allowed fear to be present when all I had to do is ask, like, what am I really afraid of? And then I realized there was nothing really to be afraid of. But without that kind of going underneath that question, so the eye of fearlessness is to help with that. And, to write a best-selling book, I have to be a little fearless, like even just risking the shameless self-promotion thing. So that is my symbol for the best-selling book. You see how that kind of changes, and in the process of creating a symbol to symbolize something like that, look at all the mental gymnastics you go through. Like, okay, well, what are the elements of this symbol? What would it be? How would I express that symbolically? So in the process of understanding or crafting or designing or figuring out how you're going to express this goal or vision of yours as a symbol, you gain invaluable insight that is absolutely coming from your highest self. And it's totally different than just thinking about something. So words and the written and spoken language trigger the left brain because we've learned this language and we don't have to think every time we speak, usually, right? That's a learned thing. And the left brain is fear-based. That's the logical, linear part of your mind. It's not the part of your mind that's responsible for new beginnings and new ideas and new experiences and skills and things you want to learn. That's the right hemisphere. And symbols and images and color are all closer to that right hemisphere. So it's going to, it's kind of like paddling the canoe with two oars down the river instead of just one, where you're going like this, and when you engage that right hemisphere and speak that language, it helps you move on a more direct line towards your desired vision. So the painting practice becomes meditation, and it becomes integration that is different than just thinking or writing about it. And I think, Shelley, you've experienced some of that already. And, Pamela is in my coaching training, and Lashish is in my coaching training, and Angela. So they've been having some of those experiences. But what was your experience going from, I'm going to paint in my next lifetime? Which I'm totally down with, right? As one infinite being to another. I'm like, well, you can do that, but I mean, it's right here and you're in my space. So I'm pretty sure it's meant to happen in this lifetime.
Right. So before I say something, because
yes,
a few minutes left and I want to hand this back to Bob and Noel if they want to say anything. share, I mean, obviously we're all drinking this in, and I already know, like, I can feel this piece that I'm taking with me that I'm going to, you know, this piece about creating that symbol and that shift from thinking to, you know, becoming that which I'm creating through the use of art and symbolism, and, you know, taking it into a whole other level. So, but will you please share with people what's upcoming for you, and how can they find you, and where can they order this book? Because in fact, I just sent another one to my daughter. So, you know, please share with us.
It's very high vibration, you guys. You'll love it. And all the teaching in each chapter, so each chapter is a different energy. So freedom and self-love and abundance, and then intuition and peace and joy, spaciousness, one of my favorites. It's all about time. So the content of each chapter is not about how to paint it. It's about different perspectives, different ways of looking at it. Like the spaciousness chapter has my top 3 time bending tricks, right? So you can just read the book and allow the images to communicate the ideas on a different level. And then when you get creatively brave, you can paint as well. And that's available on Amazon.com. And I have a giveaway going on right now that you can share. It's on my Facebook page, or you definitely want to go to WhitneyFreya.com if you would like to receive my musings. And so we're doing a giveaway to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of Rise Above today. And so yeah, I would love for you to go to WhitneyFreya.com. And I got inspired right in the process of getting home and taking a shower and helping my daughter pick out a prom dress and making a smoothie. I was like, these are my Super Soul Flow people. Like when I was given the process that is now the Super Soul Flow meditation course, which is an online program that I offer, I was told, which made me feel better because it was a little outside my comfort zone. I was told that this would appeal to certain people. Like it wasn't for everybody. It would call and speak to the people that were meant to experience it, and then, you know, be this energy of the infinite being that's currently expressing itself in human form, and give you an opportunity and an experience to help you connect to you as a multidimensional being. And Shelley? Yeah. Okay. I know, but I created a coupon code. If you don't want to share the coupon code, I won't, but I created it.
Oh yeah, no, do the coupon code, do that, please, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So if you go to, I'll type it in the chat here. If you go to WhitneyFreya.teachable.com, this is where all my online programs live, and just click on all courses, but you'll see Super Soul Flow. It's really beautiful purple banner with the, you'll see the shape. And that course has 8 lessons, and it's video, and I am videoing them in Australia and New Zealand and the Canadian Rockies, and I'm taking you through guided meditations to connect to your multidimensional self. And then there are like 11 different professionally filmed videos, painting instruction on how to also paint these experiences and energy, and then you paint your angel wing canvas. It's a really lovely experience. It's $399, and it's a lifetime membership. And when we start the kind of cycles, there are live calls and live guided meditations. But I created a coupon for you all to use in the next 24 hours for $199 off. Awesome. So it's just $200. And again, it goes and goes and goes. Super Soul Flow, it just launched in September, and I can't tell you how humbling it is to hear how it's changed people's lives, because it becomes this waking meditation. And whenever you get worried or stressed or wondering about something, it's like, oh, well, I'll just connect to the aspect of me that already knows. And it's really magical. So if you go there and check it out, right? And then if you feel like, oh, I would love this, sign up and you just use the code CCC. Capital CCC, and you get $199 off. So I would love for you to take advantage of that.
So speaking of CCC, we hope that you might consider joining us May 31st to June 3rd in Loveland, Colorado at Sunrise Ranch. And this year it's Heartful co-creation, and we have some amazing heart weavers, that some of which are on this call, who are the stewards of that event. And again, like I said in the very beginning, the beauty of the CCC, unlike many events that I've been to, it's totally experiential. It's really coming into that heart, that resonance, and bringing in your gifts. And even this year, I don't even know what they're up to. So it's a lot of magic and surprise. So Whitney, obviously you are just this bubbling fountain. And I also really love Whitney's videos, because everything is outdoors, and there is that relationship of being in the sacred of oneself in relationship to nature, and then this beautiful opening canvas of our life. So I want to really thank you, Whitney, for showing up. It's been really incredible. And Bob and Noel, I just want to check in with you. And why don't we will post the link on Facebook. Someone was saying, Shanti Hart was saying she didn't see the link. I'm going to just go double check to see.
I wonder if, Whitney, did you hit send on your?
Yeah, it is. It's there.
Huh.
Whitney,
I just sent it to Lashish privately because she had messaged me. Hold on.
It says whitneyfreya.teachable.com. Is that the one you want?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the coupon code is just good for 24 hours. So.
Okay.
Awesome.
Very good.
There you go.
Thank you, Whitney.
You're welcome.
Oh, there it is. Now we're seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there
so
we
you
go.
click right from
What a great coupon code. That's fantastic.
Right? I thought I'd keep it simple.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's very generous. And I just love the meditations, the places you took us. And I guess I'll go back to what Shelley said at the beginning, is like, I never thought of you put a paintbrush in my hand, but you've really inspired me to think like, oh, that could be fun. Maybe I'm going to draw a real tall chalice with roller skates. I don't know. But but thank you so much. And Shelley, thank you. And I think we can find you at goldenlightdowsing.com or just shelleydarling.com.
Just shelleydarling.com, and hopefully you'll
Okay.
see some creativity there after this call.
Which
You're going to have to get people painting in Colorado.
Yeah.
Right. We definitely have to. And also I want to add that Nancy Chaconis was trying to be on this call, and she's part of Whitney's, after the Taos event, she's part of Whitney's coaching. So we have a lineage happening here.
Fabulous.
So thank you everyone for showing up tonight. It's just been an incredible evening. And Bob and Noel, I hand it back to you to close, and we'll see you all next Thursday. And maybe Co-Creators Convergence coming up soon.
Yeah, and I just want to make one correction on that, Shelley. It starts May 30th.
Oh.
At Sunrise Ranch. So if you go to
Bonus day, same price as last year. Bonus day.
So yes, registration fee of only $175 if you register early. And I know that there's a lot of people on this call who have already registered. But thank you. Yes, there will be a replay posted, and it's always going to be archived on our co-creatorsconvergence.com website. And next week, next month, Kathy Mason, I think you and Darlis are going to be hosting our call. Do you want to say anything about that?
Oh. You're on mute, Kathy.
Yes. Darlis asked me today to do it. So what would you like me to say about it?
Whatever you know.
Just how cool
Darlis is amazing. She is a dowser, an energy worker, an interventionist, a Akashic Records reader, teacher extraordinaire, magical being. And so I'm not sure what we're talking about, and that's all I can tell you, but you don't want to miss it. She's been with CCC every year. She's one of the original participants, and she's one of the weavers this year.
That's
so
right.
Hopefully you all can join us.
All right.
Thank you, Kathy. Ted, good to see you. Sorry to put you on the spot there, but With that, I think let's get our paintbrushes out and just wave them to Whitney. And
anybody can take off.
If you
turn
want
the
to,
video on.
if you want to unmute anybody, Shelley, you can unmute all so they can give a little.
And show your video so we can see your smiling faces. Thank you so much, Whitney. It's been a beautiful evening.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Bye, Whitney. Good to see you.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. And join us next Thursday.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. It was wonderful.
Can you take us off?
Henry and Barb.
Bye-bye. Love you guys.
Thank
Love
you,
Ty and
everybody.
Dave.
Love you.
Hello.
Thank
Bye.
you.